about the past, you know, the war. Or when they were fighting for food and clothing and houses. Their eyes light up when they tell you. Because there was some meaning to it. Yeah, but the thing is now, now that most of them have got some sort of house, and there is food and money around, they know they're better off, but honest, they know they've got nothing as well. There's like this sort of disease, but no one mentions it. Everyone behaves as though it's normal. You know, inevitable, that there is vandalism and violence and houses burnt out and wrecked by the people they were built for. There's something wrong. And the worst thing is, the people who are supposed to represent the people in our estate, the Daily Mirror and the Sun and ITV and the unions, what are they telling people to do? They just tell them to go and get more money, don't they? Yeah, but they don't want more money. It's like me, isn't it? Buying new dresses all the time, isn't it? The unions tell them to go out and get more money, and ITV and the papers tell them what to spend it on. So the disease is always covered up. Politics? Go away. I hate politics. I'm just telling you about round our way. I want to be on this course, finding out what I learned from you about art and literature. It feeds me inside. I can get through the rest of the week if I know I've got coming here to look forward to. A few years ago I had a friend, and she was after winning a week ski trip to Andorra. Asked me if I wanted to go. Yeah, why not? 19, first holiday abroad. Off we go. I spent most of the bus journey over, taking photographs of the snow. I was amazed by the view. I had never seen anything like it. We arrived at a fabulous St. Gothard hotel. It was situated right at the bottom of the ski mountain range hill. Early the next morning we got up to meet at the bus to take us up to the slopes, where we received and signed off the equipment in our possession for that week. Back at the hotel, we booked a couple of evenings out with our rep. One in particular was to go to a restaurant called the Rocky Mountain. It was an opportunity to meet some of your group and other tourists, to have a meal and enjoy the night's entertainment. I remember on the night we were due to go, my friend's attitude towards me had changed. To this day, I don't know what I did to upset her, but she kept nitpicking about my clothes, giving me the impression she didn't want me wearing them, but she didn't want to wear what she had either. I don't normally get offended. I couldn't care less what people wear or don't, but her attitude was silently starting to annoy me. And as we were leaving to go, as a bit of a joke, she gave me a dig in the arm. Yeah, but unfortunately it hurt because I was after getting sunburnt that morning on the slopes, and I told her that. And she started insulting me, so I hit her back. And that was enough for her to go into a tantrum, so I went back to the room. Then she decided she was going to catch the tour bus, so off she went. I stayed where I was. Sometime after, I decided to set out after her, so I went for the local bus. There was something really eerie about it. It was like a real old-style American school bus. I asked the driver if I was going to the Rocky Mountain restaurant. He said it was, so I hopped on. I noticed there was nobody else on it, which kind of scared me, but then again it was late and it is Andorra, so I tried to be calm until the bus driver shouted out that he lived there. I was never so scared in my life. All I could think of was to be quiet and wait. He stopped the bus and he got up slowly towards me. He looked like a giant. He was big, strong. He slowly knelt down and he placed his hand around the back of my neck. It felt like a rock. He pushed my face to his cheek and he kissed it. I closed my eyes and gave a quiet squeal. He looked into my face I shut my eyes and he pulled my head down. I closed my mouth and quietly groaned. He didn't do anything, but I started to whine. I ached inside. Then he grabbed my hand and he placed it on his. I moaned. I couldn't bear it. He whispered in my ear, "If you be nice to me, I will be nice to you." I will never forget those words. I have nightmares still sometimes. Then he squeezed the back of my neck. It felt like I was locked in a tight vice. And he pulled me towards him. So close. He squeezed my neck in such a way that my mouth instinctively opened. And I couldn't breathe. And he started shouting at me. Called me a child. Started getting frustrated with himself like a crazy fucking lunatic. I kept saying over that I wouldn't tell anyone. I thought he partly believed it, because he got back to his seat and then he drove all over the place. But I couldn't really tell because I was in shock on the floor, unable to steady myself. And before I knew it, he was back with the cushion from under him. He placed it on the floor, grabbed me by the head and forced me face down on it. He pulled my jeans down real hard and he forced something on. I was in sheer agony. My head was aching. I was bleeding bad, I could feel it. Then he flung my jeans at me, told me to put them back on. Said I was useless and should be ashamed of the mess I made. Grabbed me by the neck and pulled me out in the snow. I was crying so hard as he drove on. I was so scared. I wiped my mouth in the snow and I ate some. I looked down from where I was and saw a red light from a hotel at the bottom of a hill. I stumbled down shaking and weeping. That's when I realised it was where he picked me up. I hobbled to my hotel. I hurt bad, so I could hardly walk. I hurried to the reception, as relaxed as I could be. I didn't want to tell anyone. I was so ashamed. I ran to the bathroom and tried to sit in the shower as the hot water came down on me. I couldn't even take my clothes off. I got out eventually and threw my wet, destroyed clothes on the floor. I was so sick. I took a couple of sulfadine tablets my friend had. I got into my bedclothes and lay shaking on the bed when she returned. It took me ages to explain what happened. She was so angry with me for not wanting to tell anyone. I told her I'd sort it myself that she'd stay out of it. We would be in so much trouble and my family would hit the roof. I couldn't bear the thoughts of an investigation and travelling backwards and forwards from Andorra to Ireland for a court hearing. I just wanted this all to be over right then. Forget it and move on. The rest of her holiday was a disaster. She began to get colder towards me, and I wouldn't leave the room. I became quieter as the hours and the days passed. She was as miserable as I was. When we got back to Dublin, I never contacted her again. And she didn't contact me either. It was as if we both knew our friendship was over. But to this day, I honestly believe she told no one.